And my mum said,
She's followed you into Michelle.
what the hell?
She's heard about Coffee Connect.
It's following me everywhere.
She knows where you work.
And we got it like
super fans.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much.
Hopefully.
It's all
I
over.
hope not.
That's what they say they want.
It's 'cause
Yeah, you never know, it could change. Oh, here we go. Hi everyone, welcome to Coffee Connect.
Squidge in a bit. Sorry,
guys.
can't get you all. It is safe. It is safe.
Yeah, we just sort of point that out before we start anything else. We are able to sit like this together. These guys are all in a bubble, and all of us are lateral flow testing. And so we're very safe here at Chicken Shed. It might be a bit echoey. We're in a different room than we'd usually be in. So there's a lot going on in the building, a lot of rehearsals. So yeah, we've been moved into different rooms. So we're in our annex, a little bit echoey. And apologies for those of you that tuned in last week. We lost our signal midway through and we couldn't reconnect. Then we were on a roll. So we're going to pick up where we left off last week. But first of all, because last week was Melita and Amelia, and this week we've got the whole gang back together. The band's back.
Yeah!
So we've got Alex and Aaron as well. So how are you guys?
Yeah, alright. What's new? Lots of rehearsals.
Lots of BA stuff.
Lots of
non-stop.
BA stuff. Just a lot of work piling up.
And trying to
tech stress at home. I
Yeah.
literally had to contact Samsung multiple times now about my TV. I think I was bigging up on the Christmas show. I wouldn't recommend it now. Don't spend that much on TV. Because
Yeah, you did.
I literally had dead pixels come up. I was like, oh, it's a small little dead pixel, but I've had my TV for a few months, so I'm gonna call them up. And they're like, yeah, well, it's in warranty. We'll come down and fix your TV. And they fixed it with a worse screen.
Oh no!
So I had to call them again. I'm like, yeah, it's worse. Now there's all these white bars at the back of my TV.
Oh,
And I'm like, don't worry, we'll come and fix your screen. They fixed the screen yesterday. It's worse.
Oh my god.
So we complain to Samsung and we'll just see how it goes. And I'm like, yeah, that's my life.
That's your life at the moment. You're not very happy.
I mean, from January all the way up to the end of March, I had a similar thing with my internet because we're with TalkTalk, and I had a whole 5 days without any internet at all. And they, on the second day that we didn't have internet, they were meant to send someone. They didn't. Then on the fourth day they were meant to send someone. They didn't. On the fifth day they sent someone, and it worked for about 5 hours. And then they had to come back and they just had to completely, because there's an adaptable Ethernet port that we've got plugged into the wall, and that had to be completely removed and replaced.
Wait until Black Friday, Alex, and then join Virgin Media.
So that must have been difficult because that was
That was during lockdown.
so
Yeah.
we weren't in a building, so you were online learning.
Yeah. And then March we were allowed back in, but I had to stay at home because my mum couldn't risk getting ill because she had to go and get her results
Right.
from her CAT scan. And so I couldn't come in. So I had to join via Zoom, but I couldn't do that half the time because my internet wasn't working.
Oh dear. What
So that
we
was
do
annoying.
without technology, eh?
Technology can be quite stressful.
Yeah.
At times. You know.
By
When
the-
it works, it's great.
By the way, I hope the internet isn't cutting out. This signal can sometimes be a bit wavy in the annex, so apologies for anybody at home if this is a little bit wavy.
That was very timely. We're talking about hair. So, last week we were discussing the theme of the golden moment. So, do we want to just reiterate what the golden moment is? What about our own golden moments we can talk about, but what was the thought behind the golden moment?
Yes.
Amelia.
Okay.
Because I wasn't in for Golden originally, so.
Yeah, I don't think we originally.
So, just to reiterate, the golden moment is all about can either be a positive or negative experience, but it is a choice that you have to make, or that you're forced to make, that changes things in your life permanently, or at least for a very long time. So it's a split decision. And I just think it's such a great theme because I think everyone can say that they've all at least had one golden moment in their life. And originally, we came back doing it this year because it was originally performed quite a few years ago at Chicken Shed, and we decided to bring it back and sort of reinvent it a bit to 2021. But so that's what our show's been about. With our cabaret, our BA fundraiser, we're going to perform it again at the end, so that'll be really fun.
It's your crossroads moment. You can either go one way or go another way, you know. Yeah, come to our cabaret show. Come watch it. It's really good.
And that's next Tuesday, 1st of June.
Yeah.
Yes, there'll be a link coming out.
Yes.
You know the text code off by
Text
heart.
code.
Yes.
Amelia, you know the text code.
I do know the text code, Alex. It's funny you should mention it. It's cabaret 2. Okay, let me break this down. It's cabaret. I would spell it for you, but I am moderately dyslexic, so I'm not 100% sure. CABARET.
R-E-T. In all capitals.
Excellent. In all caps, space, the number 2. 2, the number is
7
se-
788.
That sounds right.
Technical hitch.
7085.
I think it is 70085. You think I know? Because I've been telling literally everyone multiple times today. Yes. 70085. That is 70085.
And that
Thanks, Alex.
and that donates £2.
That makes
Yes.
£2. Sorry.
That's what
Yes. Bus Standard Network. Right.
Tell us the date. Tell us the date.
June 1st.
Tuesday.
That's next Tuesday.
Tuesday. It's very soon, everyone. Don't get panicked.
And the deal, so there will be a live audience, but also you can, it will be streamed. So we'll, you know, if you've bought tickets or whatever, you can
Yes.
stream.
The audience. The audience is for only for students, purely because of like COVID restrictions and reasons. It's only for students to see it live, but like we say, you can watch it online. There will be a link sent out, so you worry.
So, our golden moments. So our almost sliding door moments. So we touched on a bit last week. We can probably all say Chicken Shed because it's probably for all of us has a significance in our lives in different ways. Even for us working here, that's true. So there's that. Are there, for all of you, do you have any other moments that you think, wow, that was a moment that, in that moment, I knew my life was going to change? Good or bad? I mean, there's a lot.
It's still linked in the Chicken Shed along the long run, but so I went to 3 different secondary schools. Had to leave for all different reasons. But my last one stayed, and my GCSEs got all right results. Not perfect, but how can you blame me? And I went straight after to do a sports science course. I didn't want to. I went there expecting to do personal training courses. At the time, that's what I was like passionate about. But they were like, oh, you're 16, why don't you join a course with your young kids? Plus, the personal training course is only a year. This is a full length, what's the wording for it? Yeah, for like a full length 3-year course. So you're 16, you go to 18, and then you can leave education because of like law and stuff. Yeah. So it was that kind of reasoning. So I didn't get to do what I originally wanted to do. So I've done like a few months doing sports science, and it wasn't for me. Like I can train people to be up for the sport, but I don't really like half the sports myself. So it got to like New Year's Eve, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna change my life, don't do this. I'm not happy. So I dropped out for like a whole year. I wasn't doing nothing. I was just like experiencing like life, I guess. But I had no idea what kind of like road I was gonna go down. I didn't have like hardly any experience. And then I found a song called Do It Try It by M83. And it was like so random that I found it. And then like the next day, a woman knocked on my door, and she was from UK Unsigned, a place down in Tottenham, like giving people a chance to like retake their maths and English and also get some event management done. And I was like, you know what, I'll do it, I'll try it. Because of the song, and I joined through the work experience working with Haringey Shed, and then that led to HIT. So it was like, that yes or no, am I going to do it?
Wow, that's really good. That's a good golden moment.
Right, so
Yeah.
how can we compete?
I think that's good, and I think because I think well, you know, all of us probably, I would say, probably have a good 5 or 6 golden moments in our lifetime. Because I think for all different areas of our life, you can have a moment that changes everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's really good. And how about the rest of you? What do you?
My one is kind of similar to Aaron's, because I went to, after year 11, I stayed at my school to do 6th form, and I did the whole year of year 12, but then when it came back to doing year 13, I got kicked out, because originally I was doing music tech at Woodhouse, but as much as any of my teachers see this, they'll disagree, but it's true, there were timetable clashes at Woodhouse and with my school occasionally, so I'd miss a few lessons, not like a tremendous amount, but enough to make a difference. So eventually the music tech teachers asked me if I wanted to keep the course on hold and then do stuff at home and send it in, or if I wanted to wait and redo it next year. And I just decided to scrap it as a whole because it was just too much stress at that point. So then I was only doing 2 subjects, and I had to get at least a C or a B in them, because at the time I was still part of the year that had C's and B's and not the 1 to 9s. And I did well in my drama. My other one was media studies, and I got a U. And a U usually means that you've done nothing at all. Everything that you've done has nothing to do with the module, which, subjectively speaking, was not true, because certain teachers had already expressed to me personally that it was ridiculous. So I couldn't come back, but then I came back and had to do a module in year 12, no, 2 modules in year 12, and continue with drama in year 13. And I did that for about September to October, and then Antonia sent an email to my drama teacher asking, we've still got 3 spaces for our B-Tech, do you have anyone who would like to come? And that sort of started a snowball that continued rolling until I got here. So I started doing front of house first.
Yeah.
Then my head of drama pushed for me to be able to come out of school early. So I think I left my school at the beginning of November, did full-time volunteering front of house here. So when, I think it was Oz, when you were in BTEC 1.
Yeah,
I did-
Adventures Tours, yeah.
Yeah, I did either every show or most of the shows front of house for Adventures to Oz, and then I joined January the following year.
And that's lucky as well, because most of our year left, or a few of our students left the BTEC for their debate spaces. So if they never left, you wouldn't have been able to.
Like fate, isn't it?
And it was also because I think the week before, I don't even think it was a week, I think it was like 2 or 3 days before Antonia sent the email, we were going to have our mocks, and the teachers had said, if you think you're not going to make a difference in your grade, then let us know. And I expressed that, but everyone was a bit worried because it was just 1 module for year 13. So then she tried to come up with a solution. Then Antonia sent the email, and she was like, I don't know if it was fate or what, but Shed has sent an email, and since you live a 10-minute walk away, they've got spaces in BTEC, do you want to do that? And I was like, yeah. I think on the same day, I went to her office, and I spoke to Antonia on the phone, she took me through all the stuff that I had to fill in, and then a few days later I came for the open day.
Wow.
I think it was all in the space of a week, it was really quick.
That often happens actually with those kind of things. I think that happens quite quickly, and it's amazing how like when you, because I think even in my 40s, there's still times you think I don't really know what I want to do, because I think there's only very few people that are very focused. I'm just going to be there. I'm just going to be, and that's usually something like I'm going to be a doctor. I'm going to be a surgeon.
Yeah.
Because of the focus and the dedication and the input you have to have that. Because I think when you look down the line, it's like some of the jobs I've had, I would never have said, I want to be partnerships fundraising manager. who knew what that was? You know, I mean, it's I wouldn't know what that was. You know, so it's interesting.
So true.
And what about you, Amelia?
Oh man, I've been like, what is my golden moment? Like, not related to chicken shed.
Go through all of them.
It's one of those things where like you're not really sure at the time, and then when this is over, I'll be like, there's been this, and this, and this. But they're on the touchdown to my mind again. It's related to chicken sheds, but basically, in a nutshell, I dropped out of sixth form. I think I did a term there, and I was doing art and drama, and art is like notoriously like one of the hardest A levels because of the sheer workload. So that was really stressing me out naturally, and it just all got to me. Had a bit of a mental breakdown really, and I took some time off, and my mum, actually, I have my mum to thank because she said, she was just like trying to find things for me to do because I was quite depressed as well, and obviously it's not great when you're depressed to just do nothing and stay at home. So she suggested, we were looking at local theatre companies because we were based in Enfield, and I've been to Chicken Shed before, well in preschool and stuff, for to see shows, and I'd always known about Chicken Shed, and she suggested to do some like volunteer work here. So then that's when I started volunteering for the box office, and then even just signing up to the BTEC, she was the one, with my permission, that was like, she actually filled out my application for me because I was just so just had no energy and was just so depressed. So I think if she hadn't have done that, and if those decisions together, those joint decisions hadn't been made, I don't think I would have been who I am today. I think I would have been completely different. And I've got Chicken Shed to thank for a lot of that. I can't really thank Chicken Shed enough, really. But yeah, so thanks little golden moment. You know what I find fascinating though? Sorry, just go off on a bit of a tangent. Golden moments like, so for example, just quickly, my family was visiting from America, and they were over, and the 7/7 bombings.
Yeah.
I think like the day before they were on, like they were up in London and they were taking the bus, and it's just that thing of like, why did they go that day? Do you know what I mean? And not the next day. It's just really strange. And then people like miss flights or miss things, and then sorry, a bit morbid, but it's really.
I've actually had one of those film moments.
Julie, tell us.
So back in 1999, I was living in London with 3 friends that I was at drama school with, and it was Easter. It was really lovely weather. It was April, really nice weather. We walked down. We went to Soho, and we were sat in Soho, and we were sat in this pub called the Admiral Duncan. We were sat there, had a few drinks, and then one of our friends got really drunk, and she, and their personality changes. She just went like, crazy about something, and then there was a bit of an argument with her and this other guy, and we were like, whoa, we need to break this up. So we decided, right, let's go off and get some food. So we walked out, we left the pub, we walked out, we went a bit further down, we were up at Piccadilly Circus, and about 2 hours later, we sat and had food, we were walking down towards the tube, and this very weird, I describe it, a sensation that felt like an earthquake, which was really odd. And And we were like, oh, that's really cool. But anyway, didn't think much of it. Then suddenly the whole of London was closed off. We couldn't get anywhere. So, I mean, we lived near towards Paddington, so we were like, we walked back. And it was only when we got back and on the news, the Admiral Duncan pub was bombed.
No
And
way.
it was a nail bomb explosion in Soho.
Oh,
Yeah,
my
so that's probably a big golden moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my
Whoa.
God, that's like life changing.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And something you just don't, like, it's so bizarre because you just, you know, I think we were just like, oh my God, that, you
Yeah.
know, and just thinking what would happen if Stacey had had a meltdown.
Yeah.
And we hadn't all gone off and we walked right up to the other end of Piccadilly Circus. It was just so weird.
Oh wow.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
That's
horrible,
mad.
honestly. Jesus.
Gosh, I presume you were just like, what?
I just feel
Yeah.
very grateful. I think like lucky. I don't really think about it at the time.
Yeah.
It's only years later you think about something and you think,
Process
wow.
it.
And then you hear other people's story. I remember this guy with 9/11. I remember a picture in the paper of him at the airport gates with his head in his like down like this because he'd overslept and he missed one of the flights that was hijacked.
Oh my God.
And so he missed it, and knowing that what had happened, and he was
Yeah.
just stood there, and I just those kind of moments
Yeah.
are just so surreal, aren't they?
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
That is like so
Wow.
scary. For your angels looking after you, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I just feel like there's you need to be here still.
Yeah, yeah,
Because
definitely.
what would top Aaron's golden one? Laptop's it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's like life
Yes.
or death.
That's
Life
very
goes out
serene.
with knowing it.
Yeah,
You're just
yeah.
drinking. I think we're just drinking vodka Red Bull, not even knowing what was, you know.
Thank
Like,
God for that.
just went up to TGI Friday.
That's a crazy thing, man.
Oh my god. Oh nice. Yeah, TGI is excellent stuff.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
No,
Wow.
thank God your friend had that meltdown, because honestly.
I know, guys. We
It's
get
fate, isn't it? You have to believe in fate to some
Yeah.
extent. I
Yeah.
think. Even if you don't believe in God.
Yeah, I think so. I think there's always a little element you think, well, that's odd that
Mm.
that happened at that time, you know, that.
Weird coincidence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Mad.
synergy. What about you, Melissa? What did you?
I had one the other day.
Nice.
I was
Recent golden moment.
Yeah, recent golden moment. I was walking to my bus stop in the rain. It was like pouring it down, like really heavily pouring it down. And I heard like someone yelling at me. So I was like, okay. So I kept walking that. And then he went like that. So I stopped. And I was like, he's like, are you alright? I was like, yeah, I'm fine. And he was like, where are you going? And I was like, I'm going to the bus stop. And he's like, well, do you want a lift? And I was like, no, I'm alright. And he's like, are you sure? And I was like, yeah, I'm fine. But I was thinking, you know, if I had gotten in the car, what could have happened? Could have got there safe, could have not come to shed that day. You never know.
Yeah.
innit? So that was my little golden moment. But like,
That's a real slide.
never get in a stranger's car, you know what I mean? Common sense in
Yeah.
that. So I was just like, no, I'm alright, thank you. But yeah, so that was my golden moment. I feel like you have loads though, like you have
Oh,
some.
you do.
Just loads of little ones.
Yeah,
You
like-
don't really realise.
Say if you go to a party and you're lactose intolerant and you get offered like a cheese ball and you're like, oh, should I have one? And then if you had one, you can go to the toilet all night, you can have a good night, you never know, that's your golden moment, you know what I mean? We all have little tiny ones.
Do you ever have any decisions that you didn't take that you kind of regret? Do you feel?
Oh, see, I feel like
Oh no.
everything happens for a reason.
Yeah, I kind of feel a bit like that.
You know, everything. Even if you just like, even if you want to do something, you couldn't do it. It's still that kind of thing of like, well, everything happens for a reason.
Yeah.
You know. But I don't know. I feel like with me, it's just like little silly ones, like don't touch the cake, or just touch that cake. You know what I mean? Like it looks so good. Oh, I'll go back home and eat that cake.
Thinking out.
Something strange like that. Yeah. No, I don't know. I feel like everything that is meant to happen will happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've actually drowned. Well, I haven't drowned, but
How are you here?
someone's been there. But I've actually almost drowned multiple times, even though I'm quite a strong swimmer. But I just think, yeah, don't know. It's just interesting. Like quite a few times when I was like 2 or 3, I'd have a habit of wandering away from my family if there was public. If we were like at a pool or something, I would just jump in the pool at the deep end. So you do sort of think, you know, and if my cousin wasn't there to sort of say, oh, Amelia's at the bottom of the pool.
Just there flapping about.
Yeah, and then a separate time, you know, my other cousin had to come jump, you know, dive in and get me. It's just kind of like,
We actually have the same stories. Like my auntie took me to this public pool, and I was like, I don't know, like 5 or 4, something like that. I couldn't swim that well, and I was in the kiddie pool, and she saw her friend. She's like, Lily, stay here, I'll be 2 minutes. And I remember sitting there and watching her like walking like to her friend's house, to her friend, sorry, and then getting up and just running, jumping deep in the pool. I don't know why I did it. I just did it for sheer crack, and then drowned for a little bit. She just jumped in and she was like, why'd you do that? I was like, I don't know.
Do you think some of those things as well? Because I did about you. Whenever I get on an aeroplane, and I think this is because I think there's a slight controllingness to me.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm a bit of a controlling person without realising.
Yeah,
it.
same.
Because, and I think it's, you know, things like driving, when you're driving, you're in control, like, you know, in control of that. I mean, you can't control other people on the road,
Right.
but you can, somebody with wits about you. But when I get on the plane, every time I sit there and think, oh, you know, it's just like your life is in someone's hands.
Yeah.
It's that weird feeling.
No, absolutely.
That kind of reminds me of Bridesmaids the other day, where she like has a fear of
Oh, in the
flying.
movie.
And she goes, there's a
Great.
train bullet on the wing, and she's like freaking out and stuff.
Yeah, great.
But it is scary when you're on like, I don't know, like something else someone else is doing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because like kind of life's in their hands a little bit.
It's weird when you sort of have a sort of golden moment-ish, I guess, when you, it's something that you actually, at that decision time, you think is something that you don't really want to do, or you make a decision and you don't realise that you just think, I don't really want to do this, or but actually turns out to be the best thing.
Or you have that good feeling, you know,
Yeah,
enough
yeah.
feeling.
I had that. I worked overseas, and I got. So I worked as an entertainer for a holiday company, and I went to. It was back when holiday companies and big family resorts, and it was a big thing. And you were going to be in resort for like 9 months, but we had to audition as entertainers. You had to do the whole customer service thing that you had to audition in. You either went out as a singer, dancer, or a compere. And I just went along because I didn't know what I was doing. I was literally, I'd been working in quite a stressful environment, but in a weird environment. And I didn't know what I was going to do next. And I was through the stage newspaper, I was just like thinking, oh, go back to acting, maybe do this. And then there was this Air Tours advert, and I'd seen it a lot, and I just thought, oh, I'll just do it. I really wasn't interested, but I thought, do you know what, it's actually something to do.
Yeah.
So when I got invited for audition, I went along, and it was Tiger in London, and I was like, and there were all these people, and then we all had to like do this customer service exercise to make about boats. So that was fine. Really, I was not that bothered. Then we had an interview with somebody, that was all fine. Then there was a customer service scenario, fine. Okay, I was doing great. But really nice people, you know, it was great fun. And then we all had to do our piece, and I just don't know why, but I hadn't prepared, like, at all. Like, we had to do what we were good at, and everyone watched. There was about 80 people. And then they called you, and then I suddenly realised that other people had backing tracks.
Yeah.
And I didn't. So I had to make up this whole story how I'd left my backing track on the train, you know, and then just had to sing a bit of a song. And I was just like, oh, okay. And I thought, oh, it doesn't matter, because I'm not really interested. A week later, I got a letter saying that it was successful and they'd like to invite me to a training course. And this training course back in the day, can I just say, it was literally like X Factor. It was in Blackpool at the Grand Hotel, and there was about 100 of us. And we had to do it was like boot camp, and you had to do these these random things. So like all the stuff that would happen when you were overseas. So like the cabaret, each evening was a cabaret performance. You do like everyone had to learn dances. Then there was a swimming pool in the hotel. We got to play water polo, which was really random with strangers. Like aerobic, all these different things, and talking about games and dealing with how your day would be. And even then I was like, oh, and I had to share the room with this girl that cried the whole time. I don't think we had one conversation. And she cried the whole time. She said, this isn't for me. And I was like, oh, no, it's not really for me either, And then, like, at the end of it, it was like, guys, there are 60 places, and there are 100 of you. Like 40 of you will go on a reserve. 60 will go to resort. And it was like, this whole thing was like, ooh. And then we got interviewed, and that was it. And then literally went to room with a table of people, and we we're pleased to tell you we'd like to offer you a resort spot in Cyprus. And I was like, okay. And they said, we'd like you to go next Sunday. And I was like, oh. And I was like, oh, now this is a bit real, isn't it? What do I do? So I just went, all right then, just go. And then I remember just going home on the train and I was got a job in Cyprus. My parents were like, what?
So fun though.
It was, and then I flew out and I had to go to Manchester Airport, so that was a mission.
Yeah.
When you live like just outside London, and then I remember getting on the aeroplane and just thinking, what am I doing? I didn't know anyone. There was no one flying training, but there was no one flying out the same day as me into the resort.
Wow.
And then I landed, and no one knew they had my name down, so they put me in this hotel in Iron Apple where the door didn't lock and the whole room shook.
Oh no.
And there were people screaming under my window, and I was like, oh, I'm not sure about this. And then the next day, I literally went for a walk, got a coffee, and then I bumped into this girl who looked like she'd been crying all night. And I was thinking, I recognise you. And it's a girl that was on the course with me.
No
Who was
way.
in a similar situation, who'd been dumped in a hotel up the road. So that was
Oh my
we
God.
and then the rest was history. And then I stayed for 3 years and ended up running a resort. So I ended up running the whole of the entertainment for Air Tours in Cyprus.
Wow.
So that was definitely a moment. I would never have imagined in my wildest dreams I would do something like that, ever.
Wow.
Would you do it again?
Yeah.
I would do it again if it would be like it was, but the world of holidays and how it works has completely changed.
Right.
And I think it was right for that time in my life.
Yeah.
I don't think it would be right now, but it was definitely right for that time. And what it did do, particularly when I got into the management level, it gave me a skill set, because my skills have been acting, and I didn't really have any work kind of skills. So that gave me, I was, HR. I had to do disciplinaries. I was doing airport where I had to deal with complaints. I had to deal with screaming people.
Wow.
And we had targets. Our teams had to reach a certain level. So it's probably, if I'm honest, the job that I did the best in. So I won an award. So that was like amazing. 'Cause I turned Cyprus really low in terms of entertainment, and we were on a world scoring system. Sounds really dramatic. World scoring system. There's like only about 20 countries in it. But I got Cyprus to #1, so I got an award, and that was really good. And I think that was brilliant for that time.
Yeah.
And then I came back to the UK, and then it opened doors because I had different skills, and I just moved in different ways. And so I do think sometimes those things that you think this isn't great, I'm not sure I want to do this, completely change your life.
Yeah.
And also
I
make
agree.
decisions. Best friends I've made as well. So,
Oh.
so you guys are going to have loads more of those moments.
Yeah.
It's always a surprise ones that you least expect that actually blow up and you have the best time.
Yeah.
It's mad.
I'm excited for you guys that you've got all that ahead, these exciting times and different things.
Oh, we've got an adventure ahead of us, I guess, always.
I know.
You're probably on the cusp of golden moments,
Yeah.
actually.
A world of golden
Because
moments.
you're coming to an end of an era time, so you're probably all on a cusp of golden moment right now.
Starting our next chapter. What will it be?
Well, you've got a golden moment.
Oh, well.
Tell us.
About.
Yes.
Is it about the?
Yeah.
Yes. Well, Chicken Shed's very own Jojo. She's head of education. She offered me it's called the Kickstart scheme. So it's just a government scheme where it encourages young people who are fresh out of degrees. It sort of like helps you. It sort of propels you, and it gives you a job when you're fresh out. So so I've been invited to come back to Chicken Shed for 6 months after I graduate in June, right?
Yeah.
June. So I'll be coming back for 6 months. But I guess that was a bit actually of a little golden moment because I didn't know whether to take it or not, because originally I was just going to go, granted I got in, I was going to go straight into, I'm about to sneeze.
Oh, say like one.
No, I'm not, I'm okay, it's passed. Straight into my Masters, but now I'm kind of reconsidering and taking a year out.
So that's brilliant to have 6 months in that year,
Yeah,
and then
already filmed. And then I guess I'll just do like voluntary. I will literally, if you are a drama therapist, expect a message in your LinkedIn because I will be emailing every drama therapist in the UK to get some experience. So I'm going to do that, and then yeah, it depends. It all depends, you know. I've got loads of girl moments, I guess, because it depends if I get in, if I get a place. If I do, I'm probably going to Fur for a year and take this year out and then do it.
But it's all exciting.
If I don't,
Yeah.
just
The world's
Yeah.
the oyster.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
guys, thank you so much. It's been lovely chatting as always. And we will be back. We'll set the next one up soon.
Yes.
And we'll be back with a new theme. Maybe
Yeah.
some guests.
Yeah.
Surprise guest.
You bet, yeah.
Yeah, so yes, so from all of us here, thank you very much.
Thank you for tuning in.
Thank you for watching.
Bye.
Keep waving.
No? Yes.
Keep waving.